The next industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, was a hot topic at the Belden Industrial Ethernet Infrastructure Design Seminar in Prague, Czech Republic. We took the opportunity to speak to the man who is called the father of Industry 4.0, Professor Dr. Zühlke. Just a week ago, he explained the concept to Sigmar Gabriel, the German Minister of Economy and Vice-Chancellor in Angela Merkel's cabinet. Today, he's talking to us about the history and the future of Industry 4.0. Where was the concept of smart factory coming from, based on what work experiences or what studies you made?
Well, first of all, my background is as well in electrical engineering, what I have studied, but I have a professorship in mechanical engineering and automation, and then I was working in a German research center from the informatics field. So first of all, I think this triangle is one of the driving things behind all this. So then in 2002 I was asked by the German Society of Engineers to organize a group discussing the use of internet technologies or smart technologies in automation, and then we visited the so-called smart home at that time. We had several smart homes all over the world, and on the way back from that smart home the idea came that we should do the same for the factory. So this is why we came up with the idea of building up a smart factory. So I just asked a couple of companies whether they want to join us and to support us, and I was quite happy that 10 of these companies said, oh, that's a great idea, we will do it, and this was a starting point of everything. So finally then in 2004 a study was made how to do it, and in 2005 the Smart Factory group was formed in form of an association, a registered association having members, and 7 of these companies signed to be a member, and then it was growing up, and today we have 30 industrial members, industrial and scientific, and members from science in that association driving these things forward.
At what point would you say that you realized that this went beyond usual incremental development and really became a, let's say, revolutionary concept for the industry?
Well, actually, for me, it's always an evolutionary development because we have been working for so many years on that. So for me, it's really an evolution which we have seen. On the other hand, I must admit that the idea of using the Internet of Things now or combining the Internet of Things with the things we have done in the past and calling it Industry 4.0, it's really a revolutionary approach. So we created a vision over these years, which is, I think, a revolution. But the steps we will perform to bring it into industry will surely be evolutionary steps. I'm pretty sure that's the only way we can do it. But we need this vision, first of all, because the industry must know where the target of the future is and where they are heading for, and therefore we need this revolutionary vision.
On a time scale, where would you think, where would you say we are staying today? How many years or months or days are we away from implementing Industry 4.0 in the industry?
Yeah, we are just starting the transfer from this vision actually to the first actual steps in industry. We have just demonstrated at the Hanover Fair the first worldwide demonstrator following the Industry 4.0 ideas, and this was the first system built by industry already. That's a little bit a hand and egg problem, I would say, because first of all we need products, otherwise the customer cannot buy anything, but products will only evolve if we have requirements from the customer. So at that time we have from both sides was everything, so there were some requirements but there were not yet products, and now the manufacturers have to learn what they actually have to build. And therefore it's great to build up such a group as we have done for this Hanover Fair, and this group of companies from all areas, from their machine builders assembly system builders, there are part providers, so component providers, and they join together, and now they set up the system, and this is a wonderful learning platform now for both of them. So now they can see which products do we have to develop for future systems, and the customer can see that it's already possible to move into this direction. So it's not only a vision, it's already reality. And I think this is the biggest and most important step we have done over the last years to bring this really on the platform of daily systems, of daily use. And we will move on with this group for the next fairs which come up. And now we will learn and develop products among this group. And now the customer, I think, has the chance of really seeing how this moves more and more into reality.
The Belden Industrial Ethernet Infrastructure Design Seminar had more than 100 participants from 23 different countries. They attended presentations, discussions and hands-on workshops to learn about the latest technology in industrial networking and automation. We took the opportunity to speak with Steve Biegacki, Belden's Senior Vice President for Sales and Marketing, and we asked him about Belden's role in Industry 4.0.
So Industry 4.0, clearly it's a move to have a set of rules to deploy automation systems specifically in factories and making those systems interoperable so we can move different pieces around within the system. Today, many of the systems are very hard-coded or designed a certain way, and if we wanted to go ahead and make a change to the system, somebody would have to go in and reprogram the system and so on. I think Industry 4.0 is going to allow things to become more flexible, if you will, by having I'll call them autonomous agents or cells or operations that can be combined in different sequences to allow a production factory to run. Okay, so it should make it easier to reconfigure the system, should increase productivity, can make it easier to extend and so on without having to do a lot of work to make that happen. Okay. Now it's interesting, Industry 4.0 is an initiative primarily driven out of Europe and specifically Germany, it probably has a lot of backing behind it. And I'm sure we'll see a similar thing come out in the United States. There's some things starting to move right now in that space. And as I said earlier this morning, many of the standards, though, seem to become standards and set up out of Germany first as the center of automation, if you will, and then adopted by other places. So, I don't think things will happen overnight. I think this may take years, okay? But clearly it's a good direction and a good path, okay? Yeah. So Belden is involved today with Industry 4.0, primarily with our Hirschman products and some of our cabling and connector products. In fact, we participated recently at the Hanover Fair in the exhibit that was shown, and we provided a pretty integral piece of the overall communications infrastructure with our Hirschman switches, like I said, our cabling and our connectivity products. So, for us, we're trying to help people adopt standards and make them fit for their applications. Again, back to the whole idea of customers define our success. So we want to make sure that our customers have what they need today to deploy whatever. I know it's very early in the stages, but deploy Industry 4.0 to go into the future, which we can talk about here in a second. But so really our involvement is working with the standards committees now and doing the proof of concepts and so on. And I think we're one of the companies that's officially, if you will, signed up as an Industry 4.0 member and moving forward with the group.
Me as someone working in factory automation, what can I do today to be prepared for this upcoming industrial revolution?
Yeah, so well, first of all, it's very early in the stages of this whole thing, right? So that's one thing. So, but what I would say is that people should work to what I'll call is future-proof their factory. Okay. For example, I think there'll be a number of technologies that will be part of Industry 4.0, which would be things like Ethernet, for example. That's already established and will be the prevailing communications infrastructure. I think doing things down an Ethernet path would be something. If people are still using proprietary buses and networks, they might want to think about maybe changing and moving to more of an Ethernet infrastructure. Okay, might be one thing to do. I think they may also want to partner with specific vendors that are either involved or part of the committees. Okay, to at least stay up to date and understand. Because there's one thing to have the standards and the things put together, it's another thing to actually deploy it and implement it. So I think working with vendors that are staying current on the developments would be a good thing. And I think there's a list of active members, if you will, that will participate as part of this. Okay. So I think those are probably the two fundamental things that you might want to take a look at and work on as we move forward here with this fourth revolution of industrial. Industrial Ethernet work to stay current, of course.